What is going on, everyone? The NFL trade deadline is approaching, and everyone is wondering what the Houston Texans are going to do. Are you going to make a move, or are you just going to let this young team work? Well, just recently, the Houston Texans were once again labeled as potential buyers on the 31st. This time, the Texans were predicted to be trading for star pass rusher, two-time Pro Bowler from the Carolina Panthers, Brian Burns. We are going to break down the article and talk about the possibility of adding Spider-Man. We are going to discuss this. Welcome, everyone, to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calvillo. I drop daily Houston Texans content, so make sure you guys are tapped in. Follow my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok to stay up to date. And if you guys are new here to the channel, welcome. We just hit 8,000 subscribers, trying to hit 9,000 by weeks 9 or 10. Please help me get there. Like today's video, and thank y'all so much for watching today's episode. The Panthers Wire on USA Today, they put out an article, 4 potential trade fits for Brian Burns. The article goes, while reportedly unlikely at this point, the possibility of the Carolina Panthers trading away outside linebacker Brian Burns remains, well, a possibility. After all, we've seen the organization part ways with stars Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore over the last year. Plus, the winless Panthers probably aren't in the position they envisioned themselves a few months back. So if moving the two-time Pro Bowl pass rusher can help general manager Scott Fitter and the company recruit some draft capital, perhaps they can be tempted into a blockbuster deal. Now, when they mention the Houston Texans, they have a possible trade compensation, a 2021 first-round pick that we own from the Cleveland Browns, and a 2024 third-round pick that we own from the Philadelphia Eagles. So it is predicted that a first and third will get it done for the Houston Texans to acquire two-time Pro Bowl pass rusher Brian Burns. The article continues and goes, along with having enough available draft capital to make the deal, any team that acquires Burns will also need the money to quickly sign him to a long-term contract. The Texans fit the criteria. Houston owns Cleveland's first-round pick in 2024, so they could package that and a later round pick to get the deal done and pair up Brian Burns with standout rookie Will Anderson Jr. Now, a first and a third, a little steep. Right now, the Carolina Panthers are in no position to be asking for that much when they haven't won a football game yet this season. They should be complete sellers at the trade deadline. They did it last year when they traded CMC and DJ Moore. If you are the Houston Texans, a first and third, you cannot do that. Maybe you mess around and give them 2 second-round picks or a second and a third and a fourth. But giving away our first-round pick, I am not a fan of. Deshaun Watson, Massage Watson, is reportedly out on Sunday. A potential loss is there. It helps your standings in terms of potentially where will you be selecting in next year's draft. I am not on board with giving away my first-round pick. But when you talk about a player like Brian Burns, you might have to have that conversation. When you look at his stats, first of all, injury is not a concern. All the way back to his rookie year, 16 games played, 15 games played in his sophomore year, 17 games played in 2021 Pro Bowl year, 16 games played in 2022 Pro Bowl year, and so far this year has been healthy all season. His tackles for loss, 5 in his rookie year, 8 in his sophomore season, 13 in his 2021 Pro Bowl campaign, and last year, 17 total tackles for loss. He keeps on getting better, and so far this year has 7. Then what gets you excited about Brian Burns is that sack total. 7.5 in his rookie year, 9 in his sophomore season, 9 in his 2021 Pro Bowl campaign. Last year, 12.5 sacks, was a menace. And so far this year, 4 sacks on the date. Go ahead and get Brian Burns, man. We are talking about a player in the prime of his career, still only 25 years old, with the Houston Texans. We have mentioned about them potentially being buyers or wait until the offseason where they can spend as much money as they want and get whoever they want. The Houston Texans will have some money to spend. But I know in the back of our mind we are all thinking, is this team going to make the playoffs? If you add a player like Brian Burns, those dreams become a little bit bigger. And I said this a couple of videos ago. When you make a trade at the deadline, you say, not only do I think this player can help me secure a playoff spot, but I think this player could help me hoist up a Lombardi trophy at the end of the year. You immediately have to sign Brian Burns on a long-term deal and watch this Houston Texans defense transform. Him on the opposite side of Will Anderson Jr. It is going to be a track meet to the quarterback. With Will, the sacks are going to come. I think it has a breakout game against the Carolina Panthers. But just the thought of adding Brian Burns, someone who can make plays in the backfield, I mentioned the tackles for loss, and can get to the quarterback. He is on pace for another 10-sack season. This is a game-changing player right here. It makes sense, and you realize why the Carolina Panthers are asking for a first and a third is because this is another potential Pro Bowler this year. Guys, let me know how you feel about the Houston Texans being predicted to trade for Brian Burns. Like we've mentioned before, you might just have to let this young team work and go get all the help in the offseason, man. For more Houston Texans content, y'all feel free to follow me for more. Go Houston. You guys have a very blessed day.